Hey everybody, welcome to Let's Just Saints Discord. We're all excited for tonight. For no reason whatsoever. There's still Bigfoot in this.
Oh yeah,
still
there
Bigfoot
is.
Pizza back there. Don't know why that exists.
I'm just gonna leave it up today.
It was the 90s. That's why it exists.
It's a cute image. Oh, that's something that I never thought of bringing up. So that's a very 90s style of animation. And everybody complaining about like the Cal art style. I think that's just how shit works. Like decade to decade. Like everything looks kind of similar-ish.
Yeah, no, it's very similar. But it looks like there was this show that was being advertised for me recently. It reminded me a lot of the Betty Boop era of animation.
Oh, cool. I like that era. A lot of frilly undergarments.
That's a character
to be fair,
that will not make a comeback, probably.
Not make that kind of comeback. It'll be the reimagined comeback.
Yeah.
Oh, Christ.
Everything rotates.
But I will say this, it doesn't matter the animation so much if you've got a good story. The better the story, the less important the animation.
Yeah. I mean, look at Metalocalypse.
I mean, Metalocalypse, the animation was pretty good, actually.
Oh no, it was all stiff as shit. Everything looked good.
Yeah, the
like,
lines were crisp and all of that. The movement was jerky and not.
Yeah, except for the. It was like it was done in Flash. It's like this hand moves here, then here.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
until
it came to the music portions.
Yeah.
But I also question how much that was a stylistic choice as well.
Well, I'm pretty sure it was.
You know, like, then you had, back in the 70s and shit, the 70s and the 80s, you had fucking Hanna-Barbera, where it's just like, okay, we need to do this shit now, and we need to do it as cheap as humanly possible.
As cheap and as fast as possible. We're gonna reuse scenes left and right. We're gonna just take previous animations we've done on different shows and redo them in the animation style for this show. We're gonna use entire shows over again as if they're new, different shows.
Yeah. Same background, slightly changed.
It's just like, oh yeah, it's like this running animation that we've made for all these characters. Good. That's great. We never have to do that again. We'll just use that for the entire rest of the series.
Yep. We'll change the colors of the background a little bit. That's it.
I'm thinking stuff like, oh god, there was a show two shows that are basically, they're the exact same show. It's just one has a shark and one has something, I forget what it was, and they're basically Scooby-Doo ripoffs, but they're the exact same show.
Oh yeah, fucking the shark one is Jabberjaw.
Jabberjaw, and then I can't remember what the other one is, but they're the exact same show with the exact same animations, and a minor unique animation here or there, but it's the exact same thing.
The other one was a car. It was a talking car.
Yeah.
He was like a little fucking buggy, but I can't remember his name.
Well, it's like it's like Street Sharks and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like same fucking show.
Only Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was way better. Had way more staying power.
Fuck your blasphemous mouth. Shut the fuck up.
No one gave a fuck about Street Sharks,
I fucking love Street Sharks. Street Sharks is the best. They are the best.
You are right. You are a weird motherfucker.
I used to watch Ripley's Believe It or Not a lot as a kid. Yeah, no.
What was that show with? what was that show with Richard Franks where he'd tell 3 stories and 2 would be true, 1 would be false?
You mean Jonathan Frakes?
Yeah, that one.
Fuck.
Wife
what the hell was
comes to
that
the rescue.
called?
2 truths and a lie.
Yeah, it was a show version. That was a great show.
Hold on, I could figure it out real quick.
The wife said it's 2 truths and a lie.
Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction.
Beyond Belief, that's what it's called.
Yeah, Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction.
Have you ever seen
That show
that
was
like
great.
Oh, it was. Have you ever seen that that thing, like, it made the rounds on Twitter for a bit, where like somebody like took clips of him from that show and like slowed him down?
Yeah.
He sounds like an
drunk.
extremely depressed drunk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Funny as fucking shit.
By the way, I need to get a clip of That's a Lie. Yeah, Jonathan Frakes was I don't know, he's kind of like the white Morgan Freeman at that time.
Probably the funniest part of what my favorite clip
That is
from
the
that
best
slowed down stuff
compliment you could give Jonathan Frakes.
Frakes.
I mean,
Frakes,
I like
whatever.
the guy. I think he should have got more work.
Yeah. me
Oh,
too.
that's not an insult towards Jonathan Frakes. It's straight up a compliment. But
Like,
it's best compliment you could give him because it's fucking Morgan Freeman we're comparing him to.
I mean, like, especially if you see Jonathan nowadays, where he's like gone completely silver, and it's just like, God damn, that's a
really?
distinguished looking motherfucker.
Oh, he's looking good.
I know. Like, you could put this guy in all kinds of shit.
Oh man. So I'm gonna post it in the live show for us.
I mean, he's not 100% silver, but he's pretty damn close.
Yeah. I like this picture.
It's got just the right amount of salt and pepper to it. Looks distinguished as fuck.
Yeah,
You could put him as the cult leader in a movie, and I'd hands down believe it. Partly because it's Jonathan Frakes, and I could see a cult popping up around him just based on his personality.
Yeah, the worst thing he's ever done is not have a beard in season 1.
Hell, I'm sitting here thinking, it's like, you could have this dude like be like a king or something in like a fantasy series.
Yeah, Jonathan Fuchs is really looking great.
Yeah, that's it.
I got nothing
Looking
to add
good,
to that.
man. Looking good.
Jeez, Beyond Belief had a 5-year runtime.
Such a
Yeah.
good show. Underrated.
Yeah, it was kind of like it was almost like a contemporary of Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah, but it's like, hey, I'm going to tell you just a fun story in the middle of it.
It was, hey, here's a fun story. 2 of these are going to be true. One's going to be false. Can you tell which one's not true?
That's so fun. 5 seasons of that. That's a really good run for a show like that.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds right.
Well, it was also a kid's show, so that does help.
Let's, like, while we're doing the Jonathan Frakes appreciation at the moment, I just gotta say, it's like, he was also part of one of the most badass, like, Saturday morning kids cartoons ever.
Gargoyles.
Fuck yeah, Gargoyles.
Oh,
and he was the fucking villain too.
Yes, he was.
Oh, fuck yeah. Fucking love
Like, the
I got
character in the show even looks like him.
Yeah.
fucking great.
You know what? Here's what I'm gonna do tomorrow. In this Discord and view party, I'm gonna have some old cartoons playing. It's gonna include like gargoyles and shit like that. With commercials even, so you get the old '90s commercials. And I'm gonna play Tears of the Kingdom.
Nice.
So if anybody wants to watch some old cartoons,
I unfortunately won't be around for it, but I've got a race party to go to tomorrow.
yeah.
A race party?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's when
it's Memorial Day weekend in Indianapolis, man.
Oh,
that means the I-500.
yeah.
Yeah, it's when they memorialize Jim Crow era, so there's like separate bathrooms and stuff.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
So we have right now we have colonial reenactments for the time of the founding. Do you think in like 200 years we'll have Jim Crow era reenactment for education, where they'll actually have separate bathrooms?
It would surprise me if there aren't like some sort of like costume party type things around that.
Well, I mean, okay, to be fair, I would say probably they would have it set up so that you could use race doesn't actually matter. They just have it labeled segregationally. And the actors would be required to use the correct bathroom. Well, the not correct, the period appropriate bathroom. We'll go with that.
I think we've strayed into weird territory here.
I'm sure some people are doing that already. It's been long enough. There's enough like activism. Like we need to.
No, we're not talking about reenacting Germany Y2K.
I mean, they did take some notes from the South.
Yeah. And I mean, no, I don't want to reenact Germany. I'd have to do mean things to Rimshee. So I don't. Yeah.
I mean,
do that.
Who even has
like you could do mean things to me?
Oh,
I mean, like, seriously though, who has an intact script anymore for Springtime for Hitler? Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. So, Tears of the Kingdom, Rimshee, how are you liking it?
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of its direct predecessor, which it is interesting that the first one directly precedes Breath of the Wild is a the direct predecessor to this, not just the game that came before it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that they've done that with a Zelda series before. I mean, you can make the argument for Majora's Mask, and I think that would be a valid argument, but it's not quite the same as this.
Majora's Mask is a direct sequel. If you look into lore.
Yeah, but it's a direct sequel in one of the timelines, not all of them.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, there's 3 different timelines.
They all split. Yeah, all 3 of the timelines split at Ocarina of Time. Yeah. And then they all reform back together at Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep track of. There's a lot going on. But, yeah,
because like,
even though...
what the hell was it? What I found interesting is, like, lending credence to, like, Breath of the Wild is just kind of blending all of the timelines. is in Breath of the Wild, not Breath of the Wild, in Tears of the Kingdom, there's actually like outright direct references to the Imprisoning War.
Oh yeah,
And that's from the Fallen Hero timeline, which A Link to the Past is in.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think Wind Waker's in that timeline as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, Wind Waker's a different timeline.
No, because the Link in Wind Waker wasn't a direct descendant of Link.
No, I know that, but
Okay.
no, like the timelines are there's the divergence is that
there's
starting at Ocarina of Time.
There's a child timeline, the adult timeline, and the Fallen Hero timeline.
Yeah. A Link to the Past is a result of Fallen Hero. Basically, Link dies against Ganondorf. And then the adult timeline is where, like, he goes off, but he ends up coming back. And that leads to Twilight Princess. And then the child timeline is where, like, he leaves Hyrule, like, as a child and just, like, I guess, like, fucks off and never comes back. Like, Majora's Mask kind of ties into that a bit. And that's where the Wind Waker timeline comes in.
Yeah, the adult timeline and the child timeline match. They can coexist, whereas the Dead Link timeline is sort of a separate one.
Okay.
Well, yeah, because Fallen Hero, like, it leads, funnily enough, that one leads to the very original game.
Yeah.
Because the chronology of Fallen Hero is Ocarina of Time, then Link to the Past, then Legend of Zelda, and then Zelda 2, Link's Adventure.
Yeah.
And then you have A Link Between Worlds, which slots in there somewhere.
Well, they also recently changed some stuff because of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. So.
Well, yeah. But that's the thing.
It's hard to merge 3 different timelines together.
I like the way Spoonie put it back in the day. Miss that guy, but he said, like, it's like, basically, it's like every Zelda game is just an alternate reality retelling. Like, it's basically different variations of a mute elf brat in a green hat saving a blonde from a fat goblin.
Yeah.
He's not always fat.
No, he's not.
And he's usually a boar, not a goblin.
I know people, especially like with this most recent version, it's like, man, the Ganondorf thirst is really starting up again.
Yeah, I watched the whole thing on the timeline in the lore of the Zelda series. And they tried to kill him once. They tried to kill Ganon once. It didn't work. So it's like, well, fuck. And then they just stopped trying to kill him, I guess. Let's just keep trapping him and stuff.
Yeah, that was kind of one of my issues with the storytelling of Skyward Sword. Is that it basically, like, it unintentionally kind of makes Hylia slightly villainous.
Yeah. Also, I have a bone to pick with my dad. He told me it was a game that was worth it. I have not been having fun with Skyward Sword since I got it. It's Link's right-handed, which sucks.
Yeah, that's...
I guess Link was always left-handed before that.
No, there are certain he switches which hand he is.
Predominantly throughout the series, though, he's depicted.
Yeah, he's usually left-handed, which is probably why I never noticed it. I'm a lefty myself.
Yeah, yeah. I liked it.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm the only fucking correctly handed person here.
You know what? Shut the fuck up.
Fuck you!
Your people have been oppressing our people for a long time.
Look, there's left-handed and then there's starboard-handed.
Starboarders
You're
unite!
starboard-handed.
No.
I'm port-handed, motherfucker.
There are beverages that I enjoy. I would like to have the logo facing out. Can I? No.
Yeah. How do you like all those guns that are non-ambidextrous, asshole?
Yeah, that's the other thing.
I'm learning. That just takes training.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's like
I'm
a
okay
fucking
with it
chainsaw,
now.
too.
You know what? We're stronger than you because we can deal with shells flying right in front of our face when we're shooting. So fuck you.
Casings.
Shells
or shotguns.
Yeah. We can deal with casings flying right in front of... Well, with a shotgun, that happens too.
Not all shotguns, though. Then again, not all rifles, not all pistols. It depends on,
Rimshee, we're on the same side, goddammit!
Yes! I have sowed discord!
No.
And that, ladies and
It's
gentlemen,
still
is how
tattered.
American politics work.
But yeah, no, it's like fucking like Skyward Sword. It's like oh yeah, it's like the Master Sword. You know, like the Blade of Evil's Bane, like this holy good object. It's like it has the embodiment of all evil sealed within it, and by its very existence, there can never be peace. It's just like, oh, I don't like that.
Rimshee, what do you think about like the overworld so far? Because it's the same map.
Yeah, honestly, it's the same map with updates. So if they had just released the game with just the overworld, it would have been shit. But they made the changes, and then they added the Skylands, and they added the underground.
The underground is wild. The underground scares me.
It's supposed to.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. I think it's virtually like, there's a lot of stuff in the same place.
You can recognize everything, but it's very... Yeah. Stuff is in the same locations, but it's also not.
Yeah.
Like, the shrines aren't all in the same locations. The temples obviously aren't in the same locations. Well, at least I've done the air temple so far, and that one's interesting.
I did. Yeah, I've done the air temple and the mountain rock temple.
The one thing I'm annoyed about is those bird wings. They don't last very long, but at the same time, I can see why. If they lasted a while, you could launch and just go to the edge of the map.
Wait, what bird wings are you talking about?
The
like big stone bird things?
Yeah, the big stone wing glider things.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they don't last that long because
they don't last long, and that's annoying. I wish you could.
Well, you don't have enough battery yet. You need to mine some zonite.
Oh, I'm working on that.
That's pretty much what I'm going to be doing tomorrow.
In fact, well, here's what was going on. I was playing the game, and my alarm went off to send out the notification to everyone. I was like, oh shit, I completely forgot about that stuff. I'm mining Zoite. Why the fuck is...
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow so I can have battery. I looked up a tip on how to like straight up just farm it and max out my battery life.
Yeah, it's not surprising that there's already tips for powering through that shit.
Oh, people are already People are already like
yeah, single
why
people.
Why did that jump out of my fucking brain?
People have already
Speed
beat the
running.
game, guaranteed.
People are already speed running it and like finding glitches and stuff. And they just dropped a patch like the night before. Because there was a way to like duplicate items.
Oh, god damn it.
You updated, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No!
I didn't know.
I haven't updated yet. Hopefully I can stop it. So.
Well, you have to never close down the software.
It's open right now. Technically, my Switch is in sleep mode. But you can turn off auto updates real quick and like cancel when it's updating.
Yeah. But I didn't know about that, so... But that was an easy item dupe glitch, so they're gonna come out with a harder one. They're gonna find a different way to item dupe.
There is one that's still doable, but it's really difficult. It just takes forever. But if I can avoid this update and start duplicating some Zonite, like, yeah. That's all I want to do with it. I don't really care about anything else. I'll do everything else just fine. I just want to fly around forever.
Oh, I didn't realize that the horses from the first game that you have carry over.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I went to... I thought that they didn't carry over, so I went and got a new horse. And then I went around the world, and I ended up going to a different location. I was like, you know what? I don't want to go get my horse. The whistle's not working because he's too far away. I'll just go to the stable and pull him out. And all of my horses from the first game were there.
I never did much with horses. Do you think they used the information space if you had Breath of the Wild?
Yeah.
Because the download was super quick for me.
I'm sure they used some of the same code.
Yeah.
And they definitely used some of the save file data, so...
Yeah, so... Like, because it only took me like a half hour to download.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to download Breath of the Wild.
Well, yeah, because
since I have Breath of the Wild downloaded, are they just sort of... Did they essentially just like take Breath of the Wild and then update for Tears of the Kingdom?
Not exactly, but they might be using a lot of the same file code, so they can copy it over.
Oh yeah, they definitely.
So then it wouldn't have to be re-downloaded.
Not completely, yeah.
It was like, I definitely figured from the start that Tears of the Kingdom wasn't going to be a complete, like a completely new product. It was definitely going to be using the bones of Breath of the Wild. You know, in much the same way that Majora's Mask used pretty much all of Ocarina of Time's assets.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild feels like a tech demo for Tears of the Kingdom. That's what it feels like.
It's a good game,
it's definitely more refined. It's a lot more refined than what the prior game was.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more to do. And
there's so much.
There was a lot to do in Breath of the Wild too.
It's interesting because like this game is willing to go in directions that we haven't really seen from the series prior. Like, I can't honestly think of like any other Zelda game that just straight up maims the main character.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's just like his arm is gone.
Yeah, does this count as spoilers? Spoiler warning, everybody. I mean, it's the beginning of the game.
Yeah, it's within the first major cutscene.
Yeah.
But yeah, Link completely loses his right arm. Like, just beneath the shoulder, it's gone.
Don't worry, he still has a right arm. He just loses his.
No, he loses it at the shoulder. He's got like that iRobot arm that Will Smith had.
Hi, Bar.
Well, I was just like looking at like the model assets. And I was like, it seems like his like flesh, like, you know, and bone shoulder joint is still there. But like everything beneath that is just like, and we got to replace that with this kind of spoopy, magic-y, techno thingy hand.
Well, yeah, that's a story thing that comes into play.
Yeah, I know. I kind of hinted at it like last time, but I do not like what happened with the Master Sword in that scene. I think that's bullshit.
Yeah, but we'll see what actually happens as it continues. There may be good reason behind that. They have to get rid of it somehow because you can't start out the game with the best sword in the game.
Well, yeah, I am aware of this, but it's like, you know, like sealing it would have been one thing, but it's like, again, this is the blade of evil's bane. Like, evil entities can't even touch it or pick it up. And yet, in the first like hours of the game, an evil entity destroys it.
Again, spoilers.
Yeah. And I'm just like, that...
It's within the first 5 minutes of the game, Rimshee. I think it's okay to, like...
Yeah, but the game only just came out, too.
Well, also, all the promotional material shows the broken Master Sword.
Yeah.
And then, like... I mean, if we start talking about, like, Air Temple and the mountain stuff, then sure, yeah, spoilers.
But yeah, like, all the promotional material showed, like, Link with the weird arm and the broken sword, and it's like, what's all that about? It's like, yeah, the sword gets broken and he loses his arm. Yeah,
but the in theory, you could make the argument that, oh, that's a glove. Because you could make the argument it looks like a fucking glove.
Well, because they do a lot of, like, short... They've done a lot of short clips, but it's not... Yeah. Like... Yeah, I think revealing whose arm it is might be a...
No, we don't have to do that.
Again, that's within the first 5 minutes, but that may be a breath too far.
Yeah. So...
It could bring tears to the viewer's eyes.
And of course, you know... Like, I wasn't a fan of the fact that the Master Sword was, like, even diminished in, like, the first game. Because it just doesn't seem like something that should be possible.
Yeah, well, it doesn't break. It has a charge. It's technically not the strongest weapon in the game, either.
Well, no, not, like, on per-hit damage. There are two-handed weapons that hit harder than it. But that's been the case in games previous as well.
Yeah, like the Giant's sword.
Yeah, the Giant's Knife and the Big Goron Sword.
Yeah.
And the Great Fairy Blade. But the thing with those swords is like, yeah, they offered more power, but you couldn't use a shield with them.
And they didn't swing as fast.
Also, the Master Sword is like the only melee weapon that if you're not throwing, your melee weapon has range. As long as your heart meter is filled anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, sword beams,
weapon
fucker.
durability is still there, which since I played Breath of the Wild, I'm kind of okay with.
Well, I think the big thing here was adding the repair function. That's a big upgrade.
Oh, it's such a pain in the ass to repair, though. It's not. It's a tedious fucking thing.
That's not so swell, then.
I still don't know how to do that. I only just discovered the underground, but I've been doing a lot of exploration.
Yeah, you feed it to an Octorok. Essentially. And like, yeah. It's dumb. But the weapons are so plentiful that it's not, I don't think it's that big of an issue.
It does depend on what weapon it is. There are certain weapons you're going to be like, no, I want to keep this.
Yeah. Oh, I always, I just use my weapons from, like, lowest to highest, so I always start with, like, the lowest weapon, unless it's a boss or something. But
yeah, I do something similar.
It's funny that Bar mentions, like, punished Link. It's like, not really in this. It's like, yeah, he does lose his arm, but, like, personality-wise, he doesn't change very much.
Nah, same dude.
But no, like, there is technically a punished Link in the Zelda series. It's just called the Hero's Shade in Twilight Princess.
Oh, yeah.
Which is canonically, as far as I know, the only time that two heroes ever meet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. I'm excited for Oh, one thing I've been getting a kick out of lately is YouTube videos of people using Breath of the Wild knowledge in Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, somebody watched the Spider-Man trailer. That looked really good, though.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of, like, really short videos where people are seeing things that they recognize from Breath of the Wild. It's like, oh, this really cool item's in there. And then they go in there and then they just get fucked up. And that item's not even in there. There's, like, a useless item in there now. And so I've been getting a kick out of some of those videos.
That's fucking great.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I don't know, but yeah, the overworld in this new one, it's different enough that it doesn't feel the same.
It feels like it is the same world. It feels like it's the same region. It's different enough that it doesn't feel like it is the same being.
Yeah, it's like if you left your... This is exactly what it feels like. There was a period of time I didn't go back to, like, my hometown for, like, 7 years. And then when I went back, even that small little town, so much had changed. And I was like, oh, wow. Yeah. So, yeah, it's kind of like that. It's like when you leave a place for a long period of time, then when you come back, there's a lot of changes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
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 Oh yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm still
Man,
disappointed I never got into wrestling as a kid.
I have some, I have created some crazy shit with this, like, flying machines with the stuff you can build with.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You guys see the Macross shit?
The what?
People are like, oh fuck, we got Macross in this game now? Is that how we play him?
Yeah. Yeah, what's funny is a lot of people making things with dicks. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
I have not done that yet. I think I will here soon, though.
I've seen a lot of great stuff. I was bad at Legos. I'm terrible at building. So
Oh man, I had so many Legos as a kid. So many Legos.
I was great with Legos. But I threw I threw 5 fans on one of those glide wings. And had a control station on it.
Mm-hmm.
And a bunch of power batteries, external power batteries that I threw on the back. That thing fucking flew.
Yeah, I bet. That's fucking wild.
Yes, it's like one of those. Like it's almost like the Zelda version of like one of those propeller boats that you see in the fucking bayou and shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like just riding along on it, drinking a beer.
I had enough power on that thing that I actually gained altitude with relative ease.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, did you try to make it to the Sky Islands with that?
I've made it to several.
Okay. Nice.
That's actually how I got the parts I needed to make that thing.
Yeah, I've seen people flying around with like multiple fanned vehicles, like going up and like flying around with the dragons and shit. It's like, hey dude, how you doing? It's pretty neat up here, up in the atmosphere, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I should probably play around with building stuff more. I know there's a certain ability that I need to figure out how to get that's in the underground. By the way,
you know what? There's already a race to perfectly emulate Tears of the Kingdom on PC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
And it's already extremely promising.
Yeah, it won't take long.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, yeah, Tears of the Kingdom, all the promotional stuff, they just focused on the Sky Islands. They said nothing about there being an underground. Nintendo, you cheeky bastards. Just sort of keeping that away from us.
I intentionally don't look at advertisements these days. Because I either get hype and they disappoint, or I start really getting into it and looking up stuff and I ruin it for myself.
Oh, I just watch like official stuff. And then I'm just...
Yeah, like I said, I either overdo my hype and I get let down. Assuming this is assuming it's a game that I would potentially enjoy. I either get too hyped and let myself down, or I get way too into it and start looking up stuff about it and end up spoiling everything for myself. Completely unintentionally, because I'm actively avoiding spoilers, and yet they still come.
Yeah. Yeah, they're gonna happen. Yeah, I was like 90% sure I was gonna buy Tears of the Kingdom. But I waited a couple of days to see whether or not it was buggy, because it's a big issue nowadays.
Yeah.
And
but this is also Nintendo with a first-party
There's
release, so
there's like some frame rate drops at times.
There's nothing major.
Yeah. It's workable.
Well, that's the thing, is like one of the consistent things that's been mentioned about Tears of the Kingdom since launch is like just how stable the game is.
Yeah, there's even been other developers that have been like, how?
Like,
how did you do
They
this?
took their time in making it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this reminds me of Rimshee. I think you might have seen it. But that video, that like rant that Charlie put out recently.
Yep.
He's like, I'm sick of this shit, man. It's like, you shouldn't have to buy a new PC like every like couple of years.
Oh, with that
spending
Lord of the
thousands
Rings,
of dollars just
with
to
that Lord of
run
the Rings
fucking
Gollum
games.
game or whatever.
Well, yeah, like he was using that as an example, but it's just like, you know, it's just like games in general. It's like, because it's like you don't compress these games correctly. You don't spend the time to actually fucking optimize them.
Yeah.
It's like there's no reason why these file downloads have to be this goddamn big.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes. I mean, they optimize it for console usually, and even then they don't always do a good enough job. But if they're gonna optimize it for anything, it's gonna be console, because that's lowest common denominator.
Yeah, like he was talking about, like one of the Call of Duties. It's like, he's like, this game is like 160 gigabytes. It's like, a game that size should like come out of my computer and suck my fucking dick, man.
Yeah.
I should get fellatio.
And it's just an industry problem at the moment.
Yeah,
AAA,
it absolutely
anyway.
is.
You just like, get it out on time. You know, like, go, go, go.
Yeah, there's bloatware. There's also the thing with Nintendo is they generally put out finished games. Unless you're talking about like some of the Pokemon games, those are broken as fuck. But
Well, that's more to do with the fact that, you know, Game Freak has not had a standard of quality control for a while.
Yeah, and then
that's not on Nintendo. It's technically a first-party developer. It's technically a first-party developed game. It's not in-house.
Yeah, like
But
nobody will
Nintendo...
argue that the launch state, like recently, of Gen 9, Scarlet and Violet, inexcusable.
Yeah, that was bad. That was so fucking bad.
Like, that game should not have even been launched.
No, not yet. That should have just been like a beta release to like Nintendo YouTubers.
Like, never mind the fact that like Pokemon has barely innovated over the last 20 years and keeps introducing features that just further break the balance of the game.
Yeah,
Not that it was overly balanced to begin with, but
no, it's been innovating in the wrong directions.
Yeah, the first set of games, the originals, the games that started the TV show, the trading card game, everything, those were good. They weren't perfectly balanced, but they worked out well.
Oh no, they were not balanced at all. Like, Generation 1 is a microcosm of questionable design decisions.
But it worked out nonetheless. It worked out just fine.
Well, so Gen 1, Gen 1 had an easy, normal, and hard level. You just didn't know that's what it was when you picked your first Pokemon. Like,
but no, like there's this
Bulbasaur
channel.
is hard level.
Yeah.
Or no, Charmander's.
Charmander was easy. Squirtle was medium.
Yeah.
Bulbasaur, which I
Charmander-
always picked, was hard mode.
Charmander is hard in the beginning.
Yeah,
It's like the two of them
Squirtle
scale
is easy in the beginning because you get past Brock, no problem.
Yeah, Brock and Misty, Squirtle can easily shut down. You start moving a bit further on, though, and things start to get bad for Bulbasaur because, like, it's not too bad, like, fighting Koga because it's part poison, so it doesn't get fucked by Toxic. But Sabrina, oof, not a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, but water's also effective against ghosts in those first games.
It hits them neutrally.
It's like holy water.
they're effective. They're effective against ghosts, and they're not super effective, but they're like water. Yeah, water fucks up ghosts.
It's like everything can hit ghost in Generation 1 except for normal in fighting. Yeah. It's immune to those.
Yeah. No, but water does extra.
It doesn't, though. And it never has.
But it does. It did in those original games.
It didn't, but...
It does.
The thing is like... Generation 1... Like, there's this YouTube channel called False Swipe Gaming. And his entire channel is about, like, covering competitive Pokemon. You know what the single most powerful Pokemon in Generation 1 was? Outside of Mewtwo.
When fully leveled up and everything, or?
Yeah. Like, you have built this Pokemon up to win in battles against your friends.
Yeah. Pidgey.
Nope.
What?
Kakuna.
The single best Pokemon in Generation 1 outside of Mewtwo, from a competitive standpoint, Tauros.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, he has that, there's one move that he has, I forget the name of it. That just fucking destroys everything.
Well, yeah, the thing is that, like, Tauros, the reason why Tauros is so powerful is because normal hits almost everything except for, like, rock and ground neutrally. And it has a high attack stat. It also has a high speed stat, which in Generation 1, your speed is what determines your critical hit chance.
Yeah.
So the faster you are, the higher your critical hit chance. Also, because it's a normal type, it gets stab, same type attack bonus, on Hyper Beam. And Hyper Beam in Generation 1 has a bit of a glitch to it. Basically, if you knock out a Pokemon with Hyper Beam, it doesn't have to recharge.
Oh.
Add on to that it also got Body Slam, which allowed it to still hit hard and potentially also do paralysis. It's like, yeah, if you don't have a Tauros on your team in Gen 1 and you're like facing someone that does, you lose. More often than not.
Hold on. Bar said something. Hear me out. Todd Howard produces the next Poke game. No.
No,
that's too much.
It is not allowed.
Not. Zelda's already Skyrim. We don't need Pokemon to also be Skyrim.
we just need to launch Todd Howard into the sun.
Yeah. Yeah, and to be fair, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom is just Zelda Skyrim.
Although, like talking about like big open world like fantasy shit, fucking Dragon Dogma 2 is officially, it's coming. Yeah. Capcom's been on a roll lately. Just like, and we're gonna drop this game, and we're gonna drop this game, and then we're gonna drop this game.
I kind of want them to make a new Mega Man. No, they did that recently, didn't they? No, they did.
Mighty Number 9 doesn't count.
Yeah.
And also, it wasn't a good game.
I mean, like, no, that's what it was. They did they did like the whole Mega Man X series that you could just buy as a pack.
Yeah, that's what they did. Like, me personally, like, if I had like my wish for like Capcom property that I would see return, like get a new game, Dino Crisis. I want to shoot dinosaurs.
Weird. Someone has already made a Tears of the Kingdom Link skin for Minecraft.
Cool.
Of course. Because everything finds its way into Minecraft, just like everything finds its way into Fortnite, or is forcibly bought into it.
I want to see a new Turok.
A good one.
Ooh, Y2K, a new Kingdoms of Amalur. That would be choice, but it's never gonna happen. Because like that's what happens when you get funding from a state for your game studio.
Yeah.
It's just your property goes away forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kingdoms of Amalur is highly underrated.
Yeah, there's games I've played sequels of that, like, I just wasn't enjoying as much. Like the, hey, Bar joins the show.
The plot of Starfield, I just saw that.
Like Crash Bandicoot 4. Not a huge fan.
Yeah, it's my understanding it's kind of brutally hard.
Which game?
Crash Bandicoot 4.
Oh, yeah.
It is brutally hard. That's not the issue that I have with it, though. The issue that I have with it is the whole feeling's off. Like the art style is totally different. The jumping is a little wonky. They're taking way more advantage of like the 3D space than the previous games did. And it's, I don't know. There's like a lot of niche little things about it as a fan of the series that I recognize. That's just like it just doesn't have the same feel. It doesn't have the same amount of goofiness.
Yeah.
I think is part of it. Alright.
Yeah. One of the only games you bought DLC for? Oh, the first game you bought DLC for. Yeah, that's the thing, is that Kingdoms of Amalur...
Hi. And I just realized I was muted.
I was like, it's like he'll figure it out eventually. But
Yeah.
No, we're
No,
just
like,
talking over you because you're not able
yeah.
to talk over us anymore.
You fuck.
Yeah, you Viato.
but
I
yeah,
see how it is. But no, actually, just very quickly, I know what Jables is talking about, but it's a bunch of factors in the industry. One is like completely different development teams at this point.
Yeah.
There's no lineage inside the development studios that own the IPs. Everybody has moved on and they were never working on a given game to begin with. And a huge problem is people who don't like the franchise they're put on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
like,
a major issue for movies, TV shows, any
Yeah.
IP, really.
yeah,
But it's like,
motherfuckers
this,
that
I don't
don't
like
know
this
what it
game. I'm
is.
gonna make it different the way
Yeah,
I like
I
it.
don't
Never mind
li-
the fan base.
I would rather have someone who's like, I am indifferent to it than someone who is, I don't like it. Because someone who's indifferent will make bad decisions. Don't get me wrong. But
Well,
they'll make
that's-
decisions based on what they think is going to make the best show, as opposed to trying to actively change the shit.
But that's why I think Nintendo consistently makes good games is because
Oh, yeah.
the people that
Well, yeah,
originally created
because-
these IPs are still there.
and also the
That's
fact that
really-
like the fact that you still have like Nintendo corporate management is still
Yes.
the one that has oversight over everything first
Yeah.
party that they make.
Also,
It's like if it's not gonna fly with Daddy Nintendo, it's not happening.
It ain't gonna fly. It's like Tears of the Kingdom. If it don't fly, it don't fly.
Oh god.
But yeah, that's what killed Halo, man. Is like they started bringing in people. It's like we brought in people that aren't fans of Halo, and it's like, why would
Ooh.
you do that?
Yeah.
That's a huge problem. Another
Well,
thing is
like I said, bringing
Rimshee,
someone
let
in who's
Bar
not
talk.
a f-
God damn it.
No! Like I
Shut
said,
up!
someone who isn't a fan versus someone who is actively an anti-fan.
Yeah.
I don't want to dwell too much on that because it just seems. I mean, it's like it's a broken record at this point. We know it's a franchise killer, but another factor is like technology keeps moving on, and it takes a while for game developers to fully understand the new medium, especially when it's a really old franchise getting adapted. For example, I love that Capcom has finally made the most out of 3D graphics for the Street Fighter franchise, but my god, did it take them forever to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It finally feels like a Street Fighter game. But boy, what was it, like 2 or 3 titles or more until it was there.
Well, yeah, the other thing is when there's changes, you also have to kind of be open to them. It took me 2 years to like really play Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I think you mentioned you weren't too big on it.
Yeah. I wasn't at first because I was expecting a standard Zelda game. And then I just sat down one day. I was like, I'm just going to play this as a game. Throw all the Zelda stuff out of my mind. I'm just going to play this.
And it
bought
won
it.
you over pretty quickly, huh?
No, it took a while. It took a few hours of gameplay.
That's pretty quickly. I'd say that's pretty quickly.
A few hours of gameplay? I wouldn't call that necessarily quick.
Well, okay, to be fair, you're talking to someone who will generally play a couple 100 hours of games.
Yeah, I have over 3,000 hours on the Spyro Reignited trilogy. I understand that.
God, I don't want to think about how many hours I've put into Skyrim. I
Yeah.
really don't.
Yeah, but
I am going to pull up Steam and check because I hate myself, apparently.
but yeah, the the fact that it took me a few hours to like really get into the game is
Special edition
I don't think that's a
alone,
good
I
thing.
have nearly 300 hours on.
Yeah, that's cute.
I mean,
That's why I'm saying special edition, specifically the special edition. And that's just Steam hours. That doesn't include the amount of time I've played it on the Xbox or anything like that.
Oh boy.
okay, so I have 75 hours on Tears of the Kingdom, and I feel like I barely scratched the surface. I have 2,000 hours on the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy.
Hmm.
Yeah, I have 3,582 hours on Spyro. I was trying to get into speedrunning for a bit there. That's what that is. Yeah.
Not unreasonable.
That's a lot of time playing Spyro, though.
Yeah.
That's what you
I mean,
think.
we all got games like that. I got like 4,500 hours of XCOM 2.
Yeah.
Clearly, I hate myself.
No, you just love those fucking accuracy rolls, man.
Yeah. Here's the problem. I measure everything now in like XCOM percentages, which makes asking the doctor for advice very tense. Like, oh, you have a 90% chance you'll survive this procedure. I'm like, oh fuck,
I'm dead.
I'm dead.
It's like, well, I guess I better get my affairs in order. Good thing I got that life insurance policy.
You have a 99% chance of successfully making it through this surgery without any complications. It's a 0.001% chance you'll die. Fuck, I'm dead.
Yeah.
It's been nice knowing you.
Yeah, like everybody's seen the meme image. Like the dude's literally got the barrel of the rifle in the sectoid's face. 99% chance to hit. Miss.
That doesn't even cover like half the fuckery that can happen to you in that game.
Oh, I know.
But yeah, it's like keep the
Ow.
meme is like one of these days somebody's gonna figure out a way to just fuse Darkest Dungeon and XCOM together.
Oh. Oh.
Then it's just PTSD simulator.
I don't know, like there is
You
a
know,
game that came out not too long ago that kind of almost does that, called Fear and Hunger.
You know,
But
should
I
we
wouldn't be
cover
surprised if that actually exists already.
should we talk about robots? I think we should have talked about robots back when we were talking about Link's hand, but
Oh yeah, let's go into the cyborg stuff.
Yeah, that's the reason Bar's here.
I mean, oh, you're gonna talk
Don't
about
deny
this
it.
thing? Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's awesome, but no, you guys started talking about games, and I decided, fuck it, I'll jump in. Why not?
Well, yeah, you work in that industry. I'd love it when you jump in when we're talking about games and stuff. I love it when you jump in general, Bar. You should do it more often.
Yeah.
we're bringing up a video.
Yep, we are doing that.
Oh boy, here we go.
We're gonna let this play. There's no sound, so we can talk over it.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a little bit of talking, but it's interview stuff, so.
I'm sorry, I triggered Skull.
I mean, he's obviously not walking well, but considering he has no physical communication between his brain and his lower body.
Yeah, actually, they cover that a little bit
Within
further in the
5 to
video.
10 minutes,
I don't know,
I
like,
could
if you wanna
control
spoil
my
it.
Hold on.
hips, like they were
They'll show
like
He's
the
interviewed.
brain implant picked up what I was doing with my hip, so that was like the best outcome, I think, for everyone.
So for everybody here, he had a
Cycling accident.
a Bluetooth device implanted in his brain. So that
Yeah, also he's dealing with like 12 years of like muscle atrophy.
Yeah.
Like his legs and stuff like that. This is insane.
I was gonna bring, like,
But
if you
this-
haven't used your
Like,
legs in
he's
12
spot
years,
now. Like signals from his brain are reaching his lips and legs via Bluetooth. That's just
So when everything is installed,
He had a
the
severed
patient
spinal
has
cord.
first to
and
learn
Hold on, interview.
how to work with his brain signals, and we also have to learn how to correlate this brain signal to the spinal cord stimulation. But this is pretty short. In a few sessions, everything is linked and the patient starts training.
Just an example, I'm training 10 years to stand up with a friend having a beer. And that's something I think people don't realize.
They hope to miniature the device and make it completely wearable, which that'll be cool when they get to that point.
yeah.
well, so like
Still, the
they've
proof of
hit,
concept is insane.
they've
Yeah.
hit the major milestone. Now it's just about refinement.
Yeah. Doing it
Yeah, they proved
Doing
it's
it the
possible.
first time. Doing it the first time is the hard part. Once you do it the first time, it's like flight. It took us less than a century to go from a barely powered glider to the,
To the fucking moon.
No,
Yeah.
not even that. Compare like the Wright brothers' first prototypes to World War I biplanes. That
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Well,
Less
no,
than
it
20
like
years.
I'll do something even more like directly correlated to this. In it was either the late '90s or the early aughts. I was watching the show Ripley's Believe It or Not, and they were able to just like wire somebody up so that they could use their legs again, but they used like physical wires. Now they're able to do it with Bluetooth, and it's only been like 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just going to be great. It's going to help so many veterans. It's
oh, dude, absolutely.
impressive.
Well, we're getting
Yeah,
to
'cause,
the
like-
point where chopping off an arm and just straight up replacing it with a prosthetic is going to be more viable.
Yeah.
And actually
You
having
know-
full use
you know
of it.
how there's going to be some packs with some people so they can become cyborgs too. Kind of like suicide packs, but it's going to be we're going to chop off each other's limbs. Like I'm glad it made you laugh again, sir. Yeah.
But
No,
nah,
people
man,
are
it's
going to be
like-
chopping off their limbs and being like, "Hey, I need a cyborg hand."
No, we threw we threw the original down the garbage disposal. It's not recoverable. Give me a robot hand.
Yeah.
I need that grip strength at night, man. I'm alone.
I've-
no.
Hey, no, like I've said it before. If I could just like straight up replace my feet with like prosthetics so that I would never have to be in pain when I walk anymore, I would do
Yeah.
it fucking tomorrow.
Yeah, you're a perfect example.
Like fuck my
There-
organic feet. They're fucked up and there's no fixing them.
There's a buddy of mine, his wife has clubbed feet.
Yeah.
And yeah, she has a real rough time. But once this becomes more available to people, once like well, prosthetics are reaching there now too as well. Like
I think legs more than arms, really. Because
Yeah.
Yeah.
the haptic
It's
feedback
gonna
you
start
can
with legs
find
for sure.
less fine motor skills involved. Christ,
Yeah.
you already have like people running with current prosthetic legs and walking around
Yeah.
relatively well.
Yeah, legs are going to be the starting point. It's where you can refine a lot of the stuff. You won't have individual toe control, for example, but you'll be able to walk. Replacing a hand, we're still probably a half a century out of a full functional, wirelessly controlled by the brain prosthetic
Oh,
hand.
Actually, no.
no. We're really close with hands now.
You can already have like brain signals provide input to some prosthetic arms. It's just very finicky and expensive, but we're already there when it comes to that.
Yeah,
It's
fair enough.
refining.
Yeah. They just need to optimize it a little bit, and that's.
Well, as I said,
that.
it's all going to be about refinement and miniaturization now.
Yeah.
Because as we've just seen with this video, it's like this man. We have literally, through technology, allowed his brain to wirelessly send signals to his legs, bypassing his damaged spine so that he can walk.
You know, the slightly scarier part is
He connected his spine with Bluetooth.
yeah.
I don't.
The
I hope
slightly
nobody hacks
scarier
it.
part is that this is Bluetooth. If you just modify the code a little bit, that becomes a Bluetooth mouse. That becomes a Bluetooth keyboard.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it won't take long for people to learn, especially if they get the implant young. We're not that far from fucking from Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh no, this
I'm
is
totally
literally
down for it.
No, this is like a synaptic implant for sure. I could
Yeah.
see like the defense applications for fighter pilots. Because
I said, man.
why lose that like half a second or to a fraction of a second of speed when you can have the brain directly input commands to a fighter pilot?
Yeah. If
Well,
you think
that
about
one's-
also
you-
integrating that directly into like platforms like the F-35 with their sensor fusion.
Yep.
Yeah, that one gets a little harder though, given that it's you'd have to figure out how to input the data in a way that the
Rimshee?
body can yeah.
I'll cut off your arms if you'll cut off mine.
Oh god.
I already have one.
What, an arm?
I hope you have I hope you have two of them, Rimshee.
Yeah, I
that's-
have
that's
two
preferable.
arms.
That's normal.
I have two arms. I'm telling Jables we don't need to cut one off for me to get a robot arm.
Wait, you already have a robot arm?
No, he can just have a robot arm. He can just put it on his desk. It's a conversation piece.
It's in the closet.
It's not a tat.
Yeah, it's in the closet, much like you. I understand.
But no, like
You know
Yeah.
you want me.
we are going to have
I just want to see your dick. I don't want you.
we are going but still like legitimately like we are going to have sooner than people think legitimate fucking cyborgs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy already counts. This guy.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, this guy is a cyborg.
And the craziest part is he's not the first one.
Yep. Yeah, this is just better technology that's less intrusive on your body.
Yeah, the more interesting tech that I've seen is this one guy was tying into the actual nerves of the arm and using that to control an actual robot hand.
Yeah.
That, I think, is a little more interesting. Don't get me wrong. In the brain is cool. But if you can adjust that connection point further down the arm and actually be like, oh, it's in, or further down the body and say it's in the leg. Oh, when you put on your prosthetic, you just hook up this ribbon cable, or wirelessly connects, or you got some electrodes poking out that connect to this part of your prosthetic, and you can control it. It's less invasive than going into the brain. But something like this, where the guy's straight up paraplegic and it's in the spine, it makes more sense to go straight into the brain.
Yeah, but the guy that you were talking about, that's the one with the prosthetic that like you pretty much use your phantom limb syndrome to your advantage with it.
Oh no, he doesn't. He's the guy I'm talking about has all of his limbs. He's just installed the tech for testing purposes.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I don't know how much.
Like
this was about 10 years ago.
When you would move your hand like normal, that's how that hand moves.
Yeah, it just was a matter of sorting out the nerve signals to the body.
Yeah, the nerve signals and the muscle groupings. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. And I think that's great. I'm so excited for us to be cyborgs. It's going to be so cool.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think this actually excites me more because, again, it's like direct interface with the brain, and it can actually send and receive signals from the once severed spine. There's a lot of things there.
Yeah,
like something like this. Absolutely.
I want to see this guy.
This is big. This is huge.
I want to see an update on this guy when he's like had some time to go through like physical therapy and rehabilitation.
Yeah, and build up some muscle.
Yeah, Agreed. He'll be interesting.
Yeah,
I mean, if he's standing without the walker, I think the primary reason for the walker is his atrophy, and also the other primary reason is because he needs somewhere to carry that equipment.
Mm-hmm.
No, the equipment was on his head. It was more for.
But if you notice,
fall down.
If you notice, they're carrying a back. They're carrying a backpack around with him that contains more of the equipment. That's just the part. Okay. The part on his head actually is what is connecting directly to the implant. It's not doing the communication.
Yeah, the goal they said is to make it completely wearable.
Yeah,
it's not quite there yet, but I said, like as Bar said,
yeah, but being in a backpack
is the proof of concept. This is the proof of concept.
Yeah. Being in a backpack is pretty close, but at the same time, what's the battery drain look like? What's all that stuff look like? Because this could be a very power-intensive task. Partly because this isn't dedicated... Well, I mean, it is dedicated hardware, but it's not dedicated, refined hardware.
Yeah.
It's some parts they... probably a laptop and some parts they pulled off the shelf.
Yeah, I imagine within the next 10 years this is going to be a big thing. Because something Sir and I were talking about is I saw... Well, I think I already said this during the show. Yeah. There was a guy where they hardwired it to his brain, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, you did mention that, but it's worth mentioning.
That's amazing.
I think the big problem here is also like this is like doctors adapting a tech solution for a neurological problem versus tech people now refining the concept for medical applications.
Yeah, you need the doctor to come up with the plan, kinda.
Because he's the one putting it in, and
Yeah, once you've got the ability to put it in the body, all the external hardware and software, that's something any tech guru could do. Well, maybe not any. That's not a fair statement. But you know what I mean.
Yeah. Again, you want to hire Todd Howard for that so you can play Skyrim?
Play Skyrim on your feet?
No, then it's truly a walking simulator.
Yeah,
come on, you knew that was coming.
Because it's just Bluetooth, though, I do worry a little bit about hacking. But
oh my god,
But again, it's proof of concept. I could totally see them coming up with a more specific communication method down the line. It would take a massive jerk to hack someone's implant, though.
Give it time.
At least, well, okay. At this point, it would take a massive jerk. Once it becomes more ubiquitous, again, it's like Cyberpunk 2077. People do it all the fucking time in that game.
Yeah.
You know, there's people that say that the first person to live to be 1,000 years old has already been born.
No.
Potentially live.
Huh?
Potentially live 1,000 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, like, only a very small amount of us die of old age. Anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe the ones who die of old age are just the ones who didn't live life well enough to... Yeah, that's a bullshit argument.
Yeah, I like how Rimshee stopped himself. Like, I'm not even going through with this. Fuck it.
I can't finish this joke. It's just too dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't finish the joke. It was too dumb. I was just like, no, I'm done. I'm done with this shit.
Quality
like,
bailout.
something like this is like a huge endeavor in terms of like, but again, like there's a medical issue because we have to do brain surgery to install the electrodes and stuff, and then there's the hardware part, and everything has to complement each other.
Yeah.
But it should. I mean, look at like fucking pacemakers, hearing implants. Well, hearing implants are also a good example of like cybernetic augmentation. People who couldn't hear at all and then can hear. That doesn't.
Yeah,
get
like
enough
cochlear implants.
Yeah.
It's not the same. It's not the same as real hearing, but it gives you something.
Also, shout out to Mr. Beast, like giving a bunch of people the ability to hear again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why does he get so much hate?
I don't know, man.
So
Because he's popular and does good stuff, so he's an easy target.
He's exploiting these people to make more money.
Okay, so
no, he's using these people as an example to bring attention to a problem that can be easily solved.
Yeah.
So what if he does happen to make more money? That's irrelevant.
No, but think about it.
He technically does not have any money.
He's just having people donate to make it happen. He's fundraising for this stuff to happen, right?
Yeah, that's all he does.
Yeah, but what happens if you have like personal involvement? Let's say I'm a billionaire,
he donates
and I go to Africa, and I get
charity.
like,
he provides people with jobs.
But like, if you take your personal money and you go to Africa, you give like 1,000 people hearing aids. And
you're obviously a villain because you're colonizing them.
No, you're a villain because then you can make sure they can hear you say the N-word.
Yeah.
Elon Musk?
Oh, yeah, that's the only reason why he did it, so he could get the N-word pass. I get it.
Yeah.
It is a valuable pass.
It is. Speaking of which, I need to call Willie so that we can get that laminated one for me with his signature.
Oh my god, this is how you actually get... No, actually, that's how you get a charity drive going for Africa. You donate enough, and one of those people gives you an N-word pass.
Yeah.
That's how I got 3 of mine. The 4th one was because I'm black.
You're only 6% black, Rimshee. I'm not sure. That doesn't even cover the first N.
Yeah, but the whole thing is that like he's doing these good things for people, and then people are shitting on him, and he's really just like bringing attention to a problem.
Yep.
That's easily fixable.
If you follow the retweets of a certain individual that I won't mention here, it's like, oh look, Mr. Beast gave like iPads to the children that he's exploiting working on like cocoa plantations. It's like, wait, what?
Is it the person that we've had conversations about before?
Yes.
Okay, that kind of pisses me off.
They retweeted it, but still.
Yeah.
God.
I'm sorry. He's doing a lot of good. Is he making extra money off of it? Sure. Is he going to continue doing more good with the money that he made off of it? Yeah. I don't see what the problem is. Like, is there somebody have like a rebuttal to this? Because this whole thing is just creating more good.
I mean, end of the day, good is good is good. I mean,
Yeah.
the reverse is also true. Like you can have the best fucking
Is he
intentions in the
profiting
world.
off of it? Yes. Is he going to do more good with the money that he made off of that? Also, yes. I don't see what the issue is.
The only thing people like more than a hero is watching a hero fall.
Yeah.
Oh no, he supports his trans friend.
Yeah, it's like, of course, the question that you can always ask that immediately gets crickets is just like, all right, how many people have you helped through charity?
That's not the point.
Yeah. I actually have an answer for that.
Yeah.
Hundreds.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of it.
I don't know. It
boils
depends
down
on
to-
how many people you consider being a U.S. Marine helps. I know there are people who would say an entire country, but I know there are also people who would say absolutely no one.
Yeah. That mentality though, Jables, it is infuriating. Just the notion that you can't be a good person and also turn a profit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't even consider it profit. He considers it more money to help more people. That's his mentality about it. That's what pisses me off about everybody talking shit.
Yeah.
And with that, we've been your Lesser Saints of Discord. Thank you for watching, everybody.
Bye.
I hope you have a good night. Enjoy your Memorial Day weekend.
Oh yeah.
Rimshee and I are gonna possibly have more to talk about Tears of the Kingdom next week, or maybe we won't. Who knows
Well,
what's
that
going
depends on a few things. I have a wife and kids, so I don't get to play as much as I would want to. This thing would be non-stop if I didn't have responsibilities. Hell,
Yeah,
I
looking at
played more
logging
today
in
than I
about
should have
another-
as it is.
Yeah, I'm looking at logging in about another 24 hours on the game this weekend.
All right.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah. Hey, it's been great, everybody, and the future is coming. The future is now.
Later,
let's all be
everyone.
cyborgs.
Yeah.
Next week, Rimshee and I will cut off each other's arms so that we can get good prosthetics.
Oh, and Joan and Jables to watch gargoyles and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Later.